Are you still using AirPods or Beats? Are you using any headphones with Bluetooth? Hear me out. There's this technology called wires, and it allows you to hear 100% of your audio quality. When you use Bluetooth, you lose at least 50% of your audio quality. That's why wires are superior. So today we're going to be going over IEMs, which are typically used by musicians because of their ability to produce clear audio, as well as block out a lot of outside noise. But today we're going to be going over IEMs that are used for music listening, and I'll give you guys some recommendations on budget IEMs that anyone can get. The main difference between an IEM and a normal earbud is how they sound, and that's mainly determined by how it's tuned, which you can find in the frequency response chart. And that brings us to the different types of IEM drivers. A driver is a thing that produces audio, and depending on the driver used, there will be a different sound. You can think of drivers as ingredients, and the tuning to be how those ingredients are used. Also, these tacos were like $4 each. Can't afford anything in New York. IEMs with multiple drivers are pretty popular, but there are also single driver IEMs. But the most basic combination is a dynamic driver and a balanced driver. And the more drivers an IEM has, the more loans you'll have to take out from your bank. From what I've heard, people like dynamic drivers because of its bass. So if you're upgrading from AirPods or any type of consumer earphone, then you can get an IEM with a dynamic driver. But if you're feeling spicy, get something with a hybrid driver, which will give you more detail in your music. Now moving on to the more exotic options. Planar magnetic drivers, like the 7Hz Timeless, only uses a single planar driver, but planar drivers are expensive because of the technology. Planar IEMs give you more clarity and detail, and they're just cool to have. There are hybrid planar magnetic drivers, but nobody talks about those because they're not as cool as single planar drivers. And finally, there are electrostatic IEMs that we don't talk about because they're too expensive, but tribrid IEMs consisting of electrostatic, balanced, and dynamic drivers are pretty cool. But in the end, if you're looking to buy IEMs, the tuning matters the most. Drivers are there to just give you options, and if you want to figure out the tuning of an IEM, then you would need to know how to read a frequency response chart. Or you can skip all of that and look for something you like and then try it out. That's the best way to find IEMs to match your taste. A huge advantage that IEMs have over earbuds are its detachable wires. There are different types of connectors, but the most common are 2-pin and MMCX connectors. 2-pin connectors are more found on budget IEMs, and MMCX connectors are found more on high-end IEMs. I personally prefer the MMCX connector over the 2-pin, simply because the 2-pin is prone to bending, especially if you don't take care of them well. Recently I bent the pins on my Legacy 5s, but they weren't that damaged, so I bent them back into place. IEMs also have really good noise isolation, depending on how well they fit in your ears. But anyways, here are some reasons why you should get IEMs. All of your favorite artists use IEMs. It may not be the cheap budget IEMs, but they're still IEMs. I mean, how could you not want to get IEMs after seeing your favorite artists use them? Are you a fake fan? Then don't get IEMs. IEMs are only for people who really love listening to music and people who want to support their favorite artists. But in reality, the IEMs that artists use are slightly different from consumer IEMs. They're custom made to fit the artist's ears, and the price of those IEMs can cause you to lose an organ or two. But that doesn't mean you can't get cheap IEMs with good performance. Just think of IEMs as fancier earbuds. They don't have built-in Bluetooth, and they're kind of annoying to deal with, but the audio quality is better than any wireless earbud. And that's pretty much the only reason why you should get IEMs. Here are my recommendations for fancy earbuds. Starting at $25, we have the Crinico 02 and the Tangzu Wanner. The Crinico 02 has more detail, but that could be fatiguing during long listening sessions. The Tangzu, on the other hand, are a lot easier on your ears. They both have a lot of bass, but it really depends on what you're going for. If you want something with more detail and clarity, go with the Crinico 02. But if you want something more laid back and you have sensitive ears, then you should go for the Tangzu. And the Moondrop Chew is also an option, but the tuning of the IEM might not be for everyone. I personally don't like it, but there are others who say it's a good IEM. It's up to you to try them out. And here's my personal favorite IEM, which are the Diaudio Legacy 5s. They have a nice warm sound and are really comfortable for your ears. Comment below on your favorite IEMs or earbuds.